Welcome back to the weekend preview here for Los Alamitos Race Course. It is the weekend of Saturday, June 18th and June 19th. And now, pleased to welcome Mr. Ed Burgart. Ed, a good friend of ours here on Los Alamitos. Good to have you back on set last weekend. How was it to get back into the group here in Los Al?
I'll tell you what, I had a great time out there with Caleb Keller. I saw a lot of people who I was looking forward to talking to anyway. Tom Baisley, who's now the paddock judge, was a former trainer at Los Alamitos, came down. Scott Craigmile, the racing secretary, of course, talking to Orlando Gutierrez, walking through the stands and seeing a lot of fans. Just brought back a lot of memories for me. As you know, Jose, I was at Los Alamitos well before you were even thought of.
Yes, and that's one that kind of came to mind when Orlando told me that you were able to fill in for me. I was like, yes, let's get Ed there. But also, it kind of made sense because you were always in the booth. You had never been as the analyst there on set on TVG. So how was it to be now downstairs alongside Caleb?
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a great setup that TVG has with the studio down there. And the nice part, I love Laughlin, don't get me wrong. But the day I left Laughlin that morning, when I left at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning, it was already 100 degrees. And I actually got a little bit chilly by Sunday night in Los Al for the last couple of races.
Yes.
A nice breeze came in. It was probably 65 to 66 degrees. And right now, as I talk to you, it's like 112 here. So it's changed a little bit, but really had a good time.
Well, next time I take a few days off, I know who to call from the bullpen there. It seemed like a great show. I was able to tune in for the last few races on Sunday night. So good job, and I enjoyed seeing your face and your voice down at Los Alamitos. You're joining us because Mike Corona is a little bit of an assignment, so he called you up to fill in. So we want to take a look at one race, and it's going to be the race number 9 on Saturday night, Ed, and that is the running of the Fred Scane, right?
Right, the Fred Scane, named after the late Fred Scane, who was a prominent owner and breeder of quarter horses for a long time, going back to the Meridoc days back in the 1970s. Of course, he was the ranch manager for Ed Allred for many years, and certainly well thought of around Los Alamitos. So we're honoring Fred Scane. A really good field of horses. Chick's First Flash, who was the runner-up in the kindergarten. One Sweet Bar, who was 5th in the same race, and the undefeated horse drawn in the far outside for John Cooper, who's going to be going postward here. And he's chickless. More than just a 3-horse race, but I think those are the 3 horses that will take the most wagering money.
Yeah, there's 7 runners in this spot. Like you mentioned, honoring Fred Scane. The inaugural running last year of the Fred Scane was won by Ed Allred's Hitter's Count. I remember that runner winning the first ever edition. 350 yards, Ed. And I know there's one replay you want to take a look at here in regards to the number 2 horse, One Sweet Bar.
Right. Michael Rona wanted me to give out a selection for the night. So this is my play of the night, One Sweet Bar, who I don't think will be the favorite, but was in the finals of the kindergarten, coming out of post position number 4. I know Valiant got a rocket start to the far outside, and everybody was talking about the trouble Chick's First Flash had in post 5. Let's take a look at One Sweet Bar coming out of the gate, and broke completely off balance, getting bumped away from both sides and lost considerable ground, and actually I thought was better than Chick's First Flash the final 50 yards of the race. Well, come flying here. So we're going to take a look here at the 4-horse One Sweet Bar. The 5 horses Chick's First Flash. They're going to be drawn side by side again here in the Fred Scane.
Yeah, look at the start. A little bit of a hop, and then pretty much wiped out at the start.
Pretty much wiped out at the start. But the key here is how much interest One Sweet Bar shows late. And this horse usually breaks on top. Watch here crossing the wire. About a half length behind Chick's First Splash, but really gallops out with a lot of energy. You can see One Sweet Bar loaded there going into the clubhouse turn, is actually in front of everybody at that point. So I've got to think that with a clean break like One Sweet Bar had 2 outs ago, going to be very tough to beat.
And One Sweet Bar there was right around almost 7-1 in the kindergarten versus Chick's First Splash was a 2-1 favorite. But tell me about the morning line on this spot. Who did you ended up making the favorite? And what did you make One Sweet Bar in the morning line?
Made Chick's First Splash at odds of 9-5, One Sweet Bar, and he's chickless both at odds of 3-1. But people are going to look at the connections of Chick's First Splash. Seems like all these major races, you see Monty, Arrossa, Armando Cervantes always well represented. They have the favorite for the Ed Burke Million Futurity on Sunday. One Sweet Bar coming off that 5th place finish might not get as much wagering support as I think he should, so I made him 3-1. And of course, horses drawn on the outside always seem to take more money than they should at times. And so I think that undefeated He's Chickless coming off 2 strong victories at shorter distances is going to be well supported. But if you can get beyond those 3 horses, Jose, you might be able to get a huge prize. I don't know if you can or not. I think one of those 3 will probably win.
Yeah, so that's a quick, excuse me, that's a quick look at the Fred Scane. Ed Burgart liking the looks of a one sweet bar there from gate number 2. Ed, thanks so much for joining me here on the preview. Thanks so much for filling in for me this past weekend. I was able to enjoy a birthday party with my young one, and we had a blast. So thank you again. And I had great feedback from people watching you back on TVG.
Well, you did a great job handicapping as well, Jose. Your lock of the night, your long shot of the night, back-to-back races came in. I can't believe your lock of the night went off at odds of 4-1 because that was my top selection, one of my strong plays of the night as well. And I looked up when it crossed the wire at 4-1, and I was shaking my head because I forgot to bet.
Well, you were too busy there giving out all the analysis, but I was able to get involved with my TVG account, and we came out with a few bucks. So, Ed, thanks so much for joining us here tonight, and have fun out there, and stay away from the heat in Laughlin.
I'm going out to the swimming pool right now.
All right, enjoy. See you later.
Thank you.
The traditional $2 Pick Six at Los Alamitos is always a great bet. On Sunday, June 5th, the Pick Six had a season-high payout of over $76,000, and the total Pick Six pool was over $128,000. On March 27th, the total Pick Six pool was a meets best $320,000. Plus, on Sunday nights when there's not a carryover, Los Alamitos continues to add $10,000 to the Pick Six pool. Talk about some good old-fashioned Pick Six excitement. The traditional $2 Pick Six, a great bet, a great deal, always at Los Alamitos.
Burns Ranch stallions are strong in major stakes. Favorite Cartel sired 7 Grade 1 qualifiers in a single weekend.
DKAA will go 2 for 2, defeating Abel the Nickel Jet.
Walk Through Fire also sired an Ed Burke finalist. He and Separate Interest each qualified 2 for the Los Alamitos Oaks. Burns Ranch also stands Fly Through the Fire, Mental Error, Foose, and MP Shining. Let Burns Ranch help you plan your racing future.
Welcome back to the program. Now joined by Christopher Wade, your Los Alamitos analyst there on site through the simulcast signal, bringing you winners not only at Los Alamitos, but also the different signals. I know you had a nice winner of Danger a couple of weekends ago on the show that he crushed there at Remington Park. I know you tackled the Louisiana circuit as well. So welcome back to the program, Chris.
Yeah, good having you. And nice weekend off last week, especially there on Sunday. Your selections were on fire.
So I cost myself by not being there on site. I had the weekend off there, but yeah, the lock of the night, the long shot of the night, they both won in back-to-back nights, and it was a profitable weekend. I was able to get down a few bucks on the TVG account, but we'll see if we can stay hot. Well, and I'll give you some good news. The last time we agreed on a price play, you were all over it, and we both was able to cruise there. It was, is it one more chance or another chance?
More than a chance.
Yes. So now I think we're in agreement on a specific runner in race number 7 on Saturday night.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at the 8-horse in the 7th event. Let the Interest Fly. This horse is a C-plus worker prior to a much troubled debut where he broke slow, back bobbled, and crushed, and finished pretty well in that debut. For that reason, they came back and used him in his next lifetime start against a pretty group of horses for the level, and did run third at 220 yards, not his distance, as we'll see here hopefully this weekend. But had some trouble in that affair, had some lugged in, and finished pretty well between horses, and galloped out pretty well. Now he draws to the outside post, gets more yardage tonight, and I think he's going to have a big look there in that 7th event on Saturday night.
So here he is. This is for May 28th, and he was the gate number 5.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Gate 5, and like you mentioned, he was going 220 yards, but he had a good amount of trouble.
Yeah, he didn't get away all that well, and he was basically crossed between horses, the two main contenders in that affair, and he was trying to run on through there, but like I say, back bobbled and got brushed away from the gate. Lost his best chance away from there, kind of slowing his stride, and the horses on either side of him are going to come over on him a little bit from either side and take his path away, but he was just starting to level out right there near in the wire, and you can saw he had a good amount of run there, and he galloped out pretty well. Now he gets that outside post, and hopefully he's going to run that late run. He showed both his lifetime starts and get a clean start for us at a nice price on Saturday.
And I believe the eventual winner, the one that's galloping out there with the camera, was a strong favorite. So nothing, no disregard in finishing a pretty solid third after that early trouble. He's switching to the outside post, and Chris, we've noticed in the last few weeks, the outside post has been a good spot to be for a lot of these quarter horses.
Yeah, got a clear path expected. He's drawn up against a horse who's not very quick away from the gate, so a clear path should be expected and stretching out, coming back in 21 nights. hopefully that last race will sharpen up that speed of his, and he'll get a clear path and show that late run that he showed in both his lifetime starts and run to our expectations this evening at a nice price.
And this is race number 7. This is the second leg of the pick 4 because of the 9-race program. It's the second leg of the late pick 4. And do you have the morning line on this horse?
I think he's 8-1.
Okay, so very nice price on Let the Interest Fly. We'll see if Christopher Wade can score with this nice selection with Adriano Loza teaming up on the outside. Chris, what else are you handicapping for the Nightline programs this weekend?
Okay, well, on Saturday night, Sam Houston Race Park, they only have a couple nights of racing left in their season. Mm-hmm. We're handicapping our races 2 through 10, and then the last 4 from Delta Downs. And our numbers from Delta have been pretty good as usual. And Delta, Sam Houston, you can get some prices there. If you do your video work and watch them 2-year-olds, you can do pretty well there with some nice prices along the way.
All right, Chris, thanks so much for your help, and good luck with Let the Interest Fly in race number 7 on Saturday night at Los Alamitos. I'll see you out there this weekend.
All right, boss. You have a good night.
Major Southern California Thoroughbred Racing returns to beautiful Orange County on Saturday, June 25th. It's the LA County Fair meet at the Los Alamitos Race Course. The Bertrando Stakes heads the opening day card. The meet will also feature a special holiday program on Monday, 4th of July. The Grade 2 Great Lady M Stakes will head the 4th of July card. Past winners of this outstanding race for fillies and mares include champions Gamine and Finest City and the outstanding Marley's Freedom. And horse players, our live money on-track NHC qualifier is also set for the 4th of July. Daytime Thoroughbred Racing at Los Alamitos. Opening day, Saturday, June 25th. 76 runners competed in the Ed Burke Million Trials. And after a great night of quarter horse racing action, the list of 10 finalists is set. Ain't He Tempting finished as the fastest qualifier, while El Vectorero, Quirky Biddy Jess, and DKAA stayed unbeaten. They'll join the fastest qualifier in the $1 million final. A great race is on tap on Father's Day, Sunday, June 19th. The Ed Burke Million Final. The best is always at Los Alamitos.
Welcome back to the program. Now joined by Professor G. We're back here on this weekend of racing for June 18th and 19th. It is Father's Day this upcoming Sunday, Professor G, with the running of the Ed Burke Million. And then we got the daytime thoroughbred season right around the corner.
That's right, Jose. We have an opening day on Saturday, June 25th. The Bertrando Stakes, the feature attraction on opening day. And, of course, we'll begin our day and night double headers and with the quarter horse and thoroughbred nighttime card following the final race. During the daytime, again, like I mentioned, the Bertrando Stakes on opening day. And on 4th of July, the Great Lady M Stakes, a race that has produced some outstanding champions over the years and has been featured some great mares as well over the course of the year. Also, that 4th of July card will have our live money handicapping contest here during the daytime. So looking forward to the daytime meet just around the corner, Saturday, June 25th.
And am I hearing that the king of the churn is still Dave Ice Cold Exacta Weaver? Is that correct?
Yeah, always. Permanent king of the churn.
Yeah, he just fires. He doesn't, if he's the first place, he keeps on firing. That's why he's earned the king of the churn title during those daytime handicapping contests there. But I'm fresh a little bit of a break, Professor G. My little 3-year-old had a nice birthday party, had to stay at home. But how about Mr. Ed Burgart showing up, and you guys are sending the drone all the way to the set? I mean, that was tremendous camera work by our crew there.
Absolutely. We're getting a little bit of adventures there with the drone, and we got a few more surprises coming up as well. But of course, it was tremendous to see Ed Burgart here at Los Alamitos, his home away from home, always here. And of course, did an excellent job filling in for you. Great to have you back as well. But good to know that the GOAT is right there in the bullpen, just getting ready in case we need the help. Of course, happy that you enjoyed the weekend with the family. But I gotta tell you, I mean, I know that you told me that around 7:30, at night you were gonna be, doing your thing with the piñata. And you were doing that as well on Sunday, because that car must have looked like a piñata to you, because you were just knocking it down race by race. Had an excellent night handicapping, Jose, so congratulations. You had, I think, Swamping Ain't Easy, paid like over $40 as well, and you had it on top, so congratulations on a great night handicapping the races. The car looked like a piñata to you.
It did. It definitely did, Professor. And you know what? Of course, I'm going to hear complaining here. but I didn't watch that race. I made a pick 3 and a placement call bet before the race started because we're out to dinner on Sunday night. And I come back and I check he went up at 20-1. So I was kind of, kicking myself for not cashing any verticals. But yes, that long shot of the night at 20-1 and the lock of the night at 4-1. Yes, the races looked like a big pinata for me on Sunday night, Professor. Hopefully they look just as big this weekend at Los Alamitos because we got a great card here, both Saturday and Sunday. 9 races on Saturday, Professor. 9 races on Sunday. But we talked briefly with Ed Burgart, who filled in for Mike Corona earlier on the program. He gave us a selection in the Fred Scane. And I wanted to go back and talk a little bit more about the other runners also in that race because it's a good quality field that features, some 2-year-olds that are still relatively lightly raced. And this is the second running of the Fred Scane. A little bit of trivia, Professor.
Okay, you're gonna give me some trivia? Is that what you're saying?
Who won the inaugural running of this race last year? Just
hitters count.
Look at you, Professor. Look at you. Well done, Professor G. Hitters count for Dr. Ed Allred and Scott Willoughby last season.
Hey, Jose, I was looking at this card when the entries came out, and, I just kind of like browsing through real quick on my phone, and I see the number 1 horse, I'm Born to Fly, undefeated. I'm like, oh, nice. Yes. And I just kind of like scroll through, and I go right to the end just to see, what size the field is. And I see he's Chickless, undefeated. I'm like, wow, what a race, undefeated. I'm Born to Fly, undefeated. He's Chickless. What a race. I skip right by the 2 kindergarten futurity finalists, 1 Sweet Bar and Chicks First Flash. Chicks First Flash had the fastest time and comes back and runs a super second to the stablemate valiantly in the final. But, I mean, what a great field we have for the Fred Scane when we have a couple of undefeated horses, 2 horses coming out of the kindergarten. VJK Firefly ran second to He's Chickless, won the maiden as well. Attacker really solid second place, and Mr. Secret Cartel also a daylight winner last time out. Heck of a field, Jose.
It is a very good field, and I was kind of glancing over just like you. I kind of began looking at the 1, and then I just scrolled down to look how big the field was, right? And I'm with you. I'm like, okay, He's Chickless is 3-1, not bad. And then I'm like, whoa. Chicks First Flash and 1 Sweet Bar drawn side by side here coming out of the kindergarten. Ed Burgart gave us 1 Sweet Bar as his pick of the night there. But in the 9 lines, both in you and myself give selections, top 3 selections. Who was your pick in this race?
Well, I went with Chicks First Flash, just coming off of that solid second, and the way the horse won in the kindergarten, kind of extending himself, even in the trials. Just extended that lead, and in the final, the kindergarten futurity was 5th at the start. It was a fast closing second in that race, so I gotta figure this horse is gonna really like the 350-yard distance. But I almost selected His Chickless at the very top because this horse has done nothing wrong. Big time win first out in a really good time. Look who he defeated in that race. 1 Sweet Bar in just a J Perfect Deal as well. And then comes back in hard-fought victory last out against a horse that he'll also be facing in the Fred Scane VJK Firefly.
Let's take a look at that replay for He's Chickless, May 21st. VJK Firefly is going to be the horse that finished second in this race. But He's Chickless was odds-on in this race. He was the number 4 horse. And you got to remember, he was coming off of a daylight impressive win when he won under a hold. But he's going to break right on top here from gate 4. And you can see the body language of Juan Pablo Leon. Once midway, he's just cruising. He's not asking for everything. Yes, VGK Firefly is going to make it tighter than what they wanted. But you can tell these Chicklets was still under a confident hand right here. So, Professor, what do you think? Do we give more of a benefit to He's Chicklets that he was one under an easy hold? Or would also credit that VGK Firefly was finding more in the stretch?
I'm going to say He's Chickless because he is doing it with no pressure from the rider.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not really handwriting him at all. He's just kind of letting him do his thing, just making sure the horse stay focused. And the most important thing, making sure that the horse is running straight. He did that last time that when the horse debuted it, big hole late and flying 12:01. That was a really fast time. That time continues to be one of the fastest that we had this season. and he's Chickless running one of the first 2-year-old races that we've had this year. So I gotta say, he's Chickless, super impressive. The other horse, VJK Firefly, you could tell that the jockey was just asking this horse to push. Come on, maybe we can catch him. So that horse is going all out. He's Chickless is cruising.
I went 7-3-2 in that order in the night lines. So he's Chickless will be my top pick in this year's edition of the Fred Scane, going 350 yards. And you're going 3-7-2?
That's what I'm going to go with, Jose. 3-7-2. And I cannot believe that I'm Born to Fly, undefeated, doesn't get a top 3 coming off of a length and a half win.
I know. That kind of tells you the quality.
And Cruz Mendez, who rode VJK Firefly in that replay, now goes to I'm Born to Fly. If you want to look for an upset, 5-1, on a horse that's unbeaten and looks like it's even better second time out. That's not a bad way to go with I'm Born to Fly.
That's a quick look at the Fred Scane, race number 9, the final race of the evening on Saturday night. And Professor, on Sunday after the races, didn't you catch up with Burgart's at Burgart, or was that deja vu?
No, I did. That was a dream right there to interview Ed Burgart at Burgart's while he's having a nice course after the races. Mm-hmm. So I had a chance to just kind of catch up with him, say hello to him, enjoy some time with him while he's here from Laughlin, Nevada, from his home. You're gonna please excuse the video because I know the sound quality is not that great because the place was packed. The place was jamming. It was fun at Burgart, so pretty loud noise around. So excuse the the audio, but it's just kind of like a fun video just to catch up with Ed Burgart at Burgart's.
All right, so I'm gonna hold off on the Burgart at Burgart's because breaking news, Professor, hot off the presses. The entries are out for Sunday. Ed Burke Million Futurity entries just came out, and let's get to it. Let's talk back, and we'll end the show with the Burgart's at Burgart's. And I want to show you these PPs which are fresh off the printer here. Actually, on the screen. I'll have them on the screen for you here. And we have nine races on Sunday. But here are the post positions for the Ed Burke Million Futurity. Race number 9, $1 million, 350 yards. Field of 10, top 10 fastest of the night. But look at where the top 2 fastest qualifiers drew, Professor, side by side. How about that to add a little bit of drama to the Ed Burke?
And Jose, how about number 5, 6, and 7, undefeated? All 3 of them side by side. DKAA, Ain't He Tempting, Quirky Bitty Jazz. They're a combined 6 for 6. The closest that any horse has gone to any of these 3 is a half length. Mm-hmm. When Quirky Bitty Jazz debuted against another nymph won a trial to the Ed Burke Million.
Yes.
So, I mean, the action is going to be right in the middle of the track, and we cannot forget just an outstanding group of horses surrounding them. Did I see Felix Gonzalez has the 9 and the 10? Mm-hmm. These 2 horses are going to be on the outside post. So we got Pelillo right there with the 9 and the 10. Navaja, that's going to be really interesting because this horse won nicely from the outside post. Jose Nicasio up. Henry Reynoso Lopez there on number 9, Frivolous. What about the inside? You went so fast, Jose.
I know.
was trying to catch up.
I know. Here's so the inside goes to El Aventurero, another undefeated horse for Lindolfo Diaz. Apolitical Jet, who finished second to Double KA. And Henry D, who ended up taking all that money there. I believe he's a horse that took like 40 or 50,000 late, right, Professor?
Big time, right? They bet it to win as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, that was Henry.
It wasn't like a show bet, right? It was like right on the nose. It
was all win, if I remember correctly. Win money on Henry D. Escalated in gate number 4. DKAA, Ain't He Tempting, Quirky Bitty Party Politics, who was favored against Frivolous off of that smashing debut win, draws gate 8. Frivolous, that's sibling to Monopolist. She really enjoyed the extra 50 yards, Professor, on finals. And then Navaja, who had run in the kindergarten prior to those trials.
Nice. So Party Politics and Frivolous, a rematch there. Sergio Hurtado, Clanfield Act Stables, gets a chance here to get the job done right next to Party Politics and, of course, the stablemate. Navaja, great to see Alberto Zepeda on Quirky Biddy Jess having a chance to win that big purse in the Ed Burke Million. Henry D, a horse that we expected a lot from first out, delivered in the trial. So very excited to see this extremely well-bred horse by freshman sire KVN Corona. KVN Corona, remember, won the Ed Burke Million Futurity, Jose. Great to see the Quarter Company's Apolitical Jet as well. We've been following the horses from the Quarter Company LLC all year long, so great to see Mr. Jim Hernandez. He had a horse, Rocket 17, that ran in the $2 million Futurity, now gets a horse here in the first $1 million race of the year. So cannot wait, Jose. I cannot wait.
And wasn't Mr. Jim Hernandez kind of holding his breath for like 5 or 6 trials, right, Professor, to hold on to that bubble spot? Yeah. So that's Apolitical Jet there, drawing gate number 2. I'll tell you right off the bat who's my top pick already, Professor, even though, D just came out. And it is going to be Quirky Biddy Jess. It's going to be Quirky Biddy Jess, my top selection. And I like that she's drawn on the outside of the main contender, Ain't He Tempting? And also, looking back at that night, remember how tough it was to get a qualifier deep into the night. So for her to put up almost the fastest time in trial number 7 of that evening, to me was impressive. So I can tell right now, my top pick is going to be Quirky Biddy Jess for Alberto Zepeda.
What do you think the odds are going to be? 5-2? What do you think?
I think morning line on Ain't He Tempting is going to be somewhere around 9-5. Quirky Biddy Jess will be the second choice on the morning line. I'm hoping anywhere north of 2-1, 5-2.
Okay.
And then I think third choice is going to be a little bit more open because of the post position. You can see a little bit more spread separation. I would see El Aventurero taking some money from the rail, Hot Connections, Ayala. But it's going to go through the 2 fastest qualifiers for sure.
Outstanding. So I had a chance to talk to a couple of the participants in the Ed Burke Million Futurity, a couple of trainers that will have horses in this fantastic race. Caught up with Monty Arrossa this morning, Thursday morning, here talking about Ain't He Tempting. So let's go to that interview, Jose.
The horse came back really well. He tried hard in the trials. He ran a super good trial race, and he was a little tired. He's a stud colt, and he tries hard. It looked like the rider had kind of a tough time stopping him on the backside, but the horse came back very well, and he's been eating good, and we've had him to the track 3 times and had him to the gate twice and stood him, and he stood good both times. And the best thing about him, he's got a great mind. The horse has rested really well between the trials and the finals, and he's eaten everything, and that's real critical, I think, with him. That's something we really pay attention to, and so far so good.
Since you mentioned that he's enjoying his meal so far, how is he physically?
Physically, he's doing great. He's a big colt. He, you wouldn't know that he's a stud horse. He's got a great disposition. He's very kind. Anybody could lead the horse, handle him. He's super kind, but he's real stout. He's a big horse.
You mentioned some of the things you've done, taking him to the track, standing him.
And we give them as much time as they need to come back after the trials. They kind of tell us when they're ready to go back to the track. We like to take them back, when they get to really feeling good and are real happy on the horse walker, and it's they're telling us it's time to go back to the track, and he's certainly one of those. He was quiet for a few days after the trials, and then he was pretty happy out there, and his groom Juan told me he's ready to go, and so we kind of let them kind of guide us.
Monty Arrossa, Ain't He Tempting? He set the bar right off the bat in the first trial of the evening. Daylight, outside post, romped in 1764, Professor. And he looks like he's making his sister proud, right?
Absolutely. Ain't She Tempting? Won the Golden State Derby here at Los Alamitos last year, was a Futurity winner in Oklahoma the previous year. And now Ain't He Tempting, looking to give trainer Monty Arrossa another win in the Ed Burke Million Futurity. won this race with a chance to excel a couple of years ago. So great field. We haven't talked about another horse too much, DKAA. This horse is a winner in both of his starts, but did get a chance to talk to trainer Jose Flores. Jose.
With us loading next second to last, we won't be in there that much. We'll have a better break. Maybe he'll break out of there straighter. We've been working with him on that. So hopefully we have a better start than we had in the last two starts.
We're going to draw right next to Handicaping. So you know where one of the toughest competitors will be. How do you think your horse will be able to kind of gauge that or handle it?
You know that horse is real. It has a lot of talent. Real fast horse. We're hoping that we can hook up with him, and hopefully and battle it out with him throughout the race, and hopefully we can get a good clean race with him. No bumping around or nothing, and go from there.
There it is. This one by Favorite Cartel out of Corona Cristal. Professor, 2 for 2 to begin the career. You got to give him credit. That was a good looking win, defeating the likes of next out winner Mamba Cartel.
Yeah, and Jose liked one thing about this is that the horse is going to load second to last. So they start loading 1 and 6, 2 and 7, and so forth. So 5 and 10 are the last 2 to load. So he's pretty excited about the fact that the horse shouldn't be in the gate too long if they pop him right out. And he's been working a lot with this horse, just trying to get him to concentrate in the gates. He tends to draw to the inside a little bit after they open up. So if he can maybe get a nice clean trip, he's going to have 2 really fast horses right next to him in Handicaping and Quirky Bitty Jess. Let's see how this horse keeps up, especially early on. And let's see if he's got that big kick provided by his sire, Favorite Cartel.
There it is. Good draw here for the Ed Burke Million Futurity. And I'm looking up and down, Professor, and the only runner that actually made that quick turnaround from the kindergarten to this was Navaja, and was successful in getting into the final and being in the contention here. And what a story, right, for owner breeder Jesus Nava to get this filly now to be a Futurity finalist.
That's right. The first horse that he ever bred, Navaja, gets into not only the kindergarten, that would be a success enough, also into the Ed Burke Million Futurity. So owner breeder Jesus Nava with his first homebred gets into 2 big futurities already this year. Hopefully more to come for this sharp-looking filly.
All right, that's a look at both of the stakes events this weekend, highlighting the Ed Burke Million on Sunday night. 9 races for both cards, and can't wait to see what that Ed Burke morning line will be for the Ed Burke Million. Plenty busy this time of year, Professor. Not only nighttime, year-round quarter horse season here, but the daytime is approaching. Lots of moving parts, lots of things to get underway. And those doubleheaders, we're going to start Saturday and Sunday and the upcoming next week. So should be fun weekend of racing here at Los Alamitos.
That's right. 9 days of racing during the LA County Fair. We're going to have 2 days on the opening weekend, that's Saturday and Sunday. Then we'll have 4 days during the middle week, but we'll start on Friday, go through the holiday Monday, 4th of July, and then we close out with a Friday through Sunday schedule on July 8th, 9th, and 10th.
All right, Professor, thanks so much for all the information. Getting ready for this weeks of doubleheaders. We'll see you out there this weekend at Los Alamitos.
All right, and we close the show with
Burgart's at Burgart.
I can't close the show. I gotta say something. I forgot something.
Okay, what happened?
Okay, last week you asked me the horse's name, Alfonso.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Later after we posted the show, a young man left a message saying, Alfonso is my father. He has worked in Dr. Allred's ranch for over 30 years.
Wow.
So I said, I have to mention that on the show. So
nice.
So that's just a little tidbit. Those names mean a lot.
Yes.
They mean a lot. Sometimes horses are named after very special people. So Alfonso definitely named after a very special person at Rolling a Ranch. With Mr. Alfonso there working with the horses for over 3 decades as well. And while I was at Burgart, Jose,
yes.
There were some people visiting Los Alamitos from Arizona. They say they watch the show all the time. So I told them, I'm gonna thank you for watching, and I'm gonna give a little shout out there on the show. So now Now that I got that out of the way, I'm sorry, but
No.
now it's time.
But now
for the
I got
interview.
now I want to look for the PPs from last week and look for Alfonso. But no, that's great. Thank you. See, people pay attention, Professor. Thank you to the viewers out there. So shout out to Alfonso, 3 decades there working with the horses at Rolling A Ranch, and shout out to our viewers all the way from Arizona watching the show. Okay, let's catch up with Burgart's at Burgart's, and we'll see you next week, Professor.
Here with the great Ed Burgart at Burgart's here at Los Alamitos Race Course. And you are back tonight for the first time in a while, and on the set of the TVG's, the quarters, for the very first time. How was the experience like?
I'll tell you what, I had a great time just going down to the set tonight, realizing how beautiful the sunset is in Los Alamitos at nighttime. When I left Laughlin this morning, it was 102 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning, so I get down here, and what I really enjoyed was just walking into the track and having everybody come up and saying hello to me. It's like, it doesn't seem like it's been 2.5 years since I called my last race there. And getting to work with Kayla Keller on the set. Tom Baisley came by, we talked for a while. Scott Craigmount came by. It was like a homecoming type experience for me. And all the years I worked for Dr. Allred, I just love coming back to this place on occasions like I do right now. And it just brings back a lot of memories. I started back here working here in '77, so I was here before you were born, probably, son. And I was here when Dr. Allred had hair. How's that?
And I love hearing the story of when you called Denim and Diamonds against Sergeant Pepper Feature, and the cameras were up there in the booth, and then your very last race when Just Rocking Cartel wins the $2 million, and again the cameras are there watching your every move. That was a great story.
And well, the first time I was really nervous. That was in 1981. Was the first year I called a full meet here. We got to the Champions. That's when Winter Communications was covering the races for ESPN, and they had the gal come up to the booth with a camera, and Tom Dawson and Chris Lincoln threw it up to me, and do or die time is the way I looked at it. And I got every horse right. I had Denim and Diamonds, the mare, winning the race over Sergeant Pepper Feature, and that kind of solidified my position here as the announcer. And then having Caleb Keller and Jose Contreras come up for my final call, they gave me the high five after the horses crossed the wire. Great experience.
Absolutely. And now you get to have a cold one here at the place named in your honor, so that must be fun as well, coming back and doing that.
Well, I'll tell you what reminds me of the day I came down here, because I didn't know they were going to name this place after me. You called me, and Dave Weaver and Kathy Monty, and they unveiled that plaque or something. And that's when I realized that I was really caught off guard. So I've got to give credit to Dr. Allred and Kathy for naming the place after me.
Always great to have you here. Of course, you're home away from home always. Los Alamitos Race Course. Thank you so much.
Thanks.